camera. Give it off, down.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex Navarro, and welcome to an edition of the Besties here on Screen.com that's practically an exact copy of all the other editions of the Besties here on Screen.com. Except this one wants to murder you. This is, of course, the feature where we, the editors of Screen, induct the scariest, awesomest, and dare I say manliest films favored in our personal collection into our site's resident Hall of Fame. This week, in honor of the release of the 20 years later prequel remake of John Carpenter's unbelievably scary and atmospherically unmatched horror flick, The Thing, I am inducting, well, The Thing. Duh. This masterpiece of horror has been a staple among genre fans since its release in 1982, and for good reason. Mixing extreme paranoia, extreme isolation, and extreme gore into a terrifying brew of still disgusting practical effects and shockingly great performances, The Thing stands the test of time in ways most 80s horror flicks couldn't even dream of. That is why I present it to you today as a new entry in the Besties.
You see, what we're talking about here is an organism that imitates other life forms, and it imitates them perfectly.
For those of you who've never had the pleasure of experiencing The Thing, allow me to educate. Starting off troubling enough with a group of Norwegians seemingly on the hunt across a snow-covered plain for, of all things, a dog, it becomes readily apparent that something isn't quite right when the dog happens upon an American encampment. As it turns out, we're in Antarctica, and those Norwegians are absolutely hell-bent on killing that dog, to the point where they're ready to kill the Americans in an effort to do so. With the Norwegians now dispatched and confusion running throughout the camp, things start to get sort of back to normal while the resident pilot, played by a positively dashing Kurt Russell, heads off with the group's medic to the Norwegians' camp to see what was going on.
My God, what the hell happened here? Come on, Doc.
What they find is as bizarre as it is disturbing. The whole camp is a waste, with charred corpses littering the area. It becomes readily apparent that the Norwegians had made some kind of discovery, possibly alien in origin. But what exactly it was doesn't become apparent until, of course, it's too late.
What is that? Is that a man in there or something?
When it becomes too late, well, let's just have a look-see. Horrifying, right? While a modern film would obviously use hefty doses of CG for that sequence, part of what makes The Thing so utterly freaky is its heavy use of practical effects.
Damn it, child torture!
Gross as that sequence is, it's only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Once it becomes clear that what the men are up against is some kind of shape-shifting alien, something that can copy its prey almost to a T, suspicion among the men begins to set in, and horrible fucking things start happening on a fairly regular basis. Now, these effects hold up nearly 30 years later is a testament to how top flight they really are. But honestly, they're just one piece of the overall puzzle. Carpenter was at the height of his game during this period, and The Thing is, for several reasons, his crowning achievement. No movie better exemplifies Carpenter's brand of slow burn tension building better than this one. He builds the dread methodically, through creepy atmosphere and that amazing, enervating soundtrack. Every time you start to think something may be amiss, something is building to a specific conclusion, Carpenter throws you for a loop, tossing out red herrings and odd moments of quiet confusion that don't go where you expect them to. He focuses endlessly on the human drama at the center of the story, of these men afraid as much of one another as the monster in their midst.
I'll put this right through your head.
And when it does come time for the scares, he lets them out in intervals you just do not see coming. I often find jump scares to be the easiest, cheapest tactic in horror filmmaking. It's overused and, frankly, it's kind of lame. However, when it's done well, it can be an effective method of shocking the audience. The Thing contains what I contend is the single best jump scare of any movie ever. Period. End sentence. And here it is!
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
It comes out of nowhere and is just so perfectly timed. Nobody does it like this anymore. Nobody. Also, you just can't beat a cast like this one. Apart from Kurt Russell right as he was on the cusp of becoming a superstar, though, to be fair, Kurt Russell was always a superstar. The world just didn't know it yet. Carpenter brings together a crew of great character actors like Keith David, Donald Moffat, and Wilford Brimley, who, by the way, has one of the best, most ridiculous scenes in the entire movie.
No dog's making 1,000 miles to the coast.
Okay, Blair. Come on, man. You don't want to hurt anybody.
I'll kill you.
Carpenter just lets these actors go to town. Also, again, Kurt Russell. It's easy to love horror movies, ironically, for their cheesy, campy value, but for a horror film to be truly, well, horrifying, to really scare the living hell out of you, is an increasingly rare thing. Even in the 80s, it was scarce to find a movie that could actually truly chill you to your core. The Thing did that to me and still does that to me to this very day. If that doesn't make the movie best qualified to sit in the Hall of the Besties, frankly, I don't know what would. And that's gonna do it for another edition of the Besties. Please, for the love of God, get into those comments and tell me what you think of this pick. One of the best, or are you one of the heartless bastards who can somehow, some way find fault with this basically flawless film? If you are, say so. Specifically, so we can know who you are, look up your account, and delete you from the entire suite of whiskey sites. If you do not like The Thing and or Kurt Russell, you do not belong here! Once again, I've been Alex Navarro, reminding you to always set fire to everything always, because no matter what it is, it will probably try to fucking eat you at some point.